Am I ready to go offshore? Is Kenna ready to go offshore?
Who the hell gets this opportunity in life to cross a freaking ocean?
I have a bit of sailing experience when it comes to offshore sailing.
Being able to push through and live fearlessly.
We ended up having to hove to in a Cat 4 hurricane, Hurricane Ignacio.
How could I say no to an adventure of a lifetime?
I think people who wait for their boat to be 100% ready to go offshore are actually never going to sail offshore.
But we're freaking doing it, so I hope you guys are prepared to follow this journey.
My name is Kenna, and this is Jay. We live aboard our Choi Lee Offshore 41. Her name is Sitka. Currently, we are sailing and exploring our beautiful home here on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. I'm new to sailing, but I'm learning and loving it more and more each day. Jay, on the other hand, was born a salty sailor. As he takes me under his wing to get ready to sail around the world, join us on our adventure of falling in love with the beauty of life and the wonders of each other. Welcome to the story of us, and welcome to Sailing Sitka.
At this point, I am being served an adventure of a lifetime on a silver platter, and yet I'm not jumping for joy. But why? Oh right, the mangy little what-ifs. 2 words that have the power to control so many aspects of your life. A concept that can completely transform what kind of life you are going to live and why. The thing is, the results of these 2 little words is inevitable in practically everything you do, along with every decision you'll make. Surrendering your power to these brain-sucking monsters is suicidal. Living your life based on fear is scarier than being fearless itself. How will you live the life of your dreams if you let the what-ifs take charge? There will always be something that will hold you back. The bigger question is, are you going to let it? Hi guys, welcome back to this week's episode, and if you're new here, thank you so much for following along. So to kick off this episode, it is a little bit different than our regular episodes. So if you can tell by the title, yes, we are planning on sailing offshore. How exciting and terrifying, in my opinion. I'm just going to answer some questions that I ask myself on a daily basis based on, am I ready to sail offshore? So, what am I most scared of? That's what I think of immediately, because that's where my brain goes, is the what ifs, the most terrifying thoughts, the you know, what's the scariest thing that can happen. That's just how my brain functions. So what am I most scared of? Let's list them off. Seasickness to be number 1. And that might sound silly to many, but that also might sound very relatable to a lot of other people. I am from Alberta, so I am a prairie girl at heart. I am used to seeing flat land as far as the eye can see. So this is quite new to me, living on the ocean. And so seasickness is something that I know I have been prone to before. And so I'm a little bit scared about it. Coming here from Alberta in the summer when I moved in with Jay, I actually got sick on the ferry. So I'm probably losing you guys here. Like, you're probably like, no, you are not ready. And you know what? Fair enough, because I don't think I'm quite ready either. But I also don't think I will ever be ready. Emotionally, mentally, honestly. All I can do is be as ready as I can be with the information I am given at the time. And that is as much as Jay can teach me up until that point, and just being able to battle what comes at us when it comes at us. Jay has told me before that sailing with many other people, you get over it. Your body kind of just adapts to your environment, and within a couple days, for some, you get used to the movement of the boat. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be a big deal as it is in my head, and I hope that I'll be able to get over it enough. But regardless, I'm not gonna let fear or sickness stop me from doing this adventure of a lifetime that I'm literally being offered, that 99% of people in the world will not do. So I'm not gonna let it happen. What else am I scared of? Honestly, just facing the unfamiliar and the unknown. I think that's just a scary thing to most people, because there's just so many things I don't know, and so many things that I think I should know before going, and it's just like I can't be taught a lifetime worth of sailing in months, you know what I mean? Some other things I'm scared of is not being courageous enough, and that sounds stupid. I feel like all my fears sound stupid, but they're big to me, so they're not quite that stupid. Not being courageous enough is big for me, because I suffer from an anxiety disorder. So being able to tackle everyday tasks is a little bit harder for me than it is for an average person. So life-altering decisions such as offshore sailing is a lot scarier to me for many reasons. My brain thinks of the worst case scenarios in every decision I make. No matter what I decide in life, I always think, what is the worst that can happen and how I can handle it? Not a good way to approach life. I don't recommend it, but it's just how my brain works. So when Jay asked me if I wanted to sail around the world with him, ultimately I was like, that sounds scary and dangerous and amazing and like life-altering. I was always told that if something scares you and excites you at the exact same time, then you're on the right path. And as scared as I am, I feel so at home and at peace with where I'm going in life. And as much as I think I can't do this, I also think that I can. That makes no sense. I'm sorry, that makes no sense, but that's literally how I explain it in my head. Okay, what am I most excited about? That's an awesome question. Something I am most excited about is actually the internal battle of myself. Being able to push through and live fearlessly and conquer all of these worries and fears that I have, and being able to do something that 99% of the population will never do in their life is just thrilling to me. I think the most exciting thing for me is just being able to say I can do it, and being able to feel that I can do it. Like, I know I'm gonna get sick, and I know I'm gonna be scared, and I know I'm probably gonna regret a lot of the moments on the trip. But who the hell can say that they crossed oceans? I just can't believe that this is where my life is taking me. I just never in my wildest dreams thought that I was gonna become a sailor. Writing. I'm excited to write. And I'm excited to write about everything I learn and everything that I overcome and everything that I accomplish. And I just think that one day I'm going to be able to use that writing for something bigger, and I'm excited for that. Another big thing I'm excited about, it's a little bit silly, but I just am, because I see it in a lot of other YouTube videos, and it's dolphins jumping at the bow. I think it's the most magical thing, and I see it in a lot of videos that I've watched about other sailors that document their passages, and it looks just majestic. Like the dolphins, how they glide and how they just
kind of guide your bow. And in one video, a sailor explained that the dolphins actually look up at you and your eyes meet, and it's like your souls are connected. And oh my goodness, that just gives me goosebumps, honestly. I think I'm gonna die when I see dolphins for the first time. I think that's what I'm really, really excited about. The other day I was talking to this older sailor that sailed here from Japan. Took him 40 days. And I had all these questions for him because ultimately I like to plan my plan A, plan B, plan C. So when things go wrong, I just, you know, I like to know what to do. That's just how I function. Anyway, I was asking him a bunch of questions, and he looked at me and he said, you seem nervous. And I was like, yep, how can you tell? And he just looked at me and he told me this story about this family that went sailing. And the 16-year-old girl, she didn't know if she wanted to go. She was scared as well. And ultimately the parents were like, well, it's your choice, but come with us for a little bit. They were going for a couple years, I think I recall correctly. So they said, well, just come to us and sail with us for like a week or so. And I think they sailed to San Francisco, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess there's no one to correct me. Well, I don't know if you watch our videos. The guy that I'm talking about may be watching our video. But anyway, yeah, so she tried it, and anyway, a year goes by, and when she came home, she told this sailor that I'm referring to, she said to him, she looked at him dead in the eye, and she said, you have to go. It will change the rest of your life. And when he looked at me and told me that story, I actually knew in that moment that no matter what hardships come my way, no matter how ill prepared I feel, no matter how scared I am, I have to do this. Because who the hell gets this opportunity in life? I get actual goosebumps when I talk about it. Anyway, are we ready? Maybe. I don't know. Yes, kind of. But we're freaking doing it. So, I hope you guys are prepared to follow this journey.
What's up? Alright, so we're gonna bring you guys on a little quick tour of like things that we did over the years to make Sitka offshore ready. So as you can see, we're actively doing boat work right now. So I'm just taking a little break off boat work to show you some things. So when I got Sitka, she was a hang-on boat. So I added this profile furler 2 years ago. So that was a big upgrade. Also, this Rockna 25 here, which was a lot better than the CQR, which is down here. So that's the old anchor. So now that's one of the spares. We also upgraded to a nice high field dinghy. We bought this used, but it's aluminum bottom, single floor, so the ultralight, so me and Kenna can actually move it around because it only weighs, I think, 87 pounds. Also up forward, I didn't add this, but it came with a boat, and that's pretty good, like a nice low-friend Tigris windlass, which right now is not working, so that's another part of the project that I need to work on. It always worked. I think it's just maybe a solenoid or one of the foot switches is off. Well, let's go walk down here. So, as you might have, Kenna added an extra block on the masthead for a spinnaker halyard, but also to be used as a spare halyard and also to raise this rib here. Now, don't mind the mess because there's poles here. That's for a surprise that we're not going to tell you yet. These cushions are going in the garbage. We're going to build new ones. One of the big things I did on Sitka is I changed everything for the running rigging, every single thing. So I'll show you guys on the other side for the tracks, but this is the main sheet setup, and as you can tell, there's still epoxy stains because we're going to repaint everything, and I just wanted to test fit everything out over a year ago now and test how everything worked, and then if I was happy with it, I was gonna make it permanent, and we're at that stage now. We're actively making things permanent, so the cockpit's getting all the winch taken off today, and then we're gonna do that. So this is custom made, where the sheets attached to the boom. I used to have those normal little bales, stainless steel bales, and I went out in 50 knots of wind and it completely ripped itself to shreds, even though it was stainless steel. So I got this design at a local fabricating shop, and it's been working great. Alright, if you follow me on this side. So another thing we've done is we've added a new north sail, mainsail, and a new Genoa. Also all new reef points on the mainsail, and I added these clutches for all the reef points, so that makes life a lot easier. It's just slab reefing. We'll show you videos on our running rigging, like a more in detail stuff. Also added the stack pack. Then if you walk aft, also this Dodger, big job. 2020, worked like 2.5-3 months on this with a lot of friends. A lot of people give a lot of help on this. Good shout out to Nate and Mikey. Solar panel. So this was all custom fabricated. Like it wasn't there. It used to be just a soft Dodger that was ripped to shreds. So as you can see here, the main tracks, those is what I talked about. Like we added these. So it's for the main sheet, and these are for the Genoa. So as you can see, once again, epoxy stains, because we over drilled the holes, filled them with epoxy, re-drilled the right size, and then installed them. But right now we're gonna take everything apart, paint, make it all pretty. So now we're happy with the running rigging, and it's time to make it permanent. As you come in the cockpit, same thing's gonna happen here. So these winches are gonna be gone. I just unbolted them from the inside, so these two are gonna get pulled. This cleat's gonna be done. And as you can see, they all have their individual little ghetto platforms, and it's all gunky and stuff. But now we know what setup we want. This is gonna be gone. There's gonna be a Lumar 48 on either side, and then an Anderson 18, and there will be a cleat also. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these platforms. I'm going to raise all this, so there's going to be an actual single platform that's going to match the curvature of this bridge deck here. It's going to be raised to 1 inch high. It's going to be fiberglass, and it's going to be the same on either side, so it's going to be uniform. We also got rid of the old main track that used to be here, added these puppies. Just fiberglass these in 2 days ago. Gonna be more epoxy and fairing, and then we're also going to be adding some strong points here, some big U-bolts with backing plates, so we can clip ourselves in when we're going offshore. Another thing we added is I built this little bracket here for a new outboard. Well, it's new to us. It's an older 2-stroke 15 horsepower. Me and Kenna, in the previous episode you saw, we installed this engine lift. Another thing I did in previous years was build this custom-made propane locker. So it's fiberglass, but it's actually raised from the deck, so there's fiberglass beams. This is bolted on, and then it serves multiple purposes. Like it has propane tanks, we can keep our dinghy fuel in it. It also has a vent for the engine room that is completely separate from the propane locker, so it can't leak into there. And then there's leak points. There's a drilled holes at the bottom, so if ever propane was to leak or water gets in there, it would just leak off on the back of the boat and not go inside the boat, which is quite important. That's where the solenoid resides. So these are all little upgrades that we've done over the years to make Sitka ready for open ocean. And there's a big news coming. We just acquired a new crew member that we're going to talk about more in the next episode, so stay tuned. Alright, so I figured I'd have a little discussion one-on-one with you guys. So the question is, are we ready to go offshore? Is the boat ready to go offshore? Am I ready to go offshore? Is Kenna ready to go offshore? It's a complex question to answer. But one thing that I'd like to say, so that, who am I kidding? One thing I'd like to say, I can talk about this for 10 hours, but the truth of the matter is I have a bit of sailing experience when it comes to offshore sailing. So in 2015, I sailed offshore on my previous sailboat, which was a Rawson 30, so quite a smaller and quite slower boat than Sitka is. I sailed that boat from Victoria, British Columbia here in Canada, down to San Francisco, and followed by a trip from San Francisco to Hawaii, which took 30 days, and we ended up having to hove to in a Cat 4 hurricane, Hurricane Ignacio, followed by a return to San Francisco, which took 29 days, which is basically all beating upwind. We did 10 days beating up north, followed by 19 days going back east, after which we ended up sailing down the coast of California all the way down to Mexico, and ended up putting the boat up for sale up in La Paz in the Sea of Cortez in Mexico. Shortly thereafter, I bought this current boat, so Sitka, which is a Choi Lee Offshore 41 in Vancouver, and then brought it over to Victoria, and I've been living on her ever since. Also, in the meantime, getting her ready for some offshore sailing. So there's been a lot of work that been put into Sitka, including removing all the teak decks, because she had all teak decks when I had her originally. So, and they were leaking. I mean, they were overdue. A lot of people helped with that project, but I'd like to give a special shout out to my buddy Alex Lab. He spent literally days, weeks on here helping me every day with that project, followed by many other projects, including building that Dodger that you saw, building that propane locker in the back of the boat, getting new dinghies, new sails, new roller furler. The list is literally countless. New bilge pump setup that is on the way. It never ends. Anybody that's sailed offshore, is getting ready to sail offshore, will tell you the same. The list is endless. And will the boat ever be ready, 100% ready to go offshore? I think the answer to this question is no. And I think people who wait for their boat to be 100% ready to go offshore are actually never going to sail offshore. I remember leaving on my previous sailboat, and a lot of people in my previous marina thought I wasn't going to leave because they kept telling me I needed this system, a water maker, I needed that system. Listen, on my last sailboat, I didn't even have a fridge, there was no freezer, there was no running water, there was not even a battery monitor. There was a lot of systems that weren't there because I didn't have the money nor the knowledge to fix these things at that time. And we still survived that whole trip. Was it comfortable? Was it the best trip ever? Could it have been better? Of course not. It could have been a lot better. But the truth of the matter is that if you don't go at some point, you're never going to do it. So what I can say honestly is that this boat is 100 times more ready to go offshore than my previous sailboat was. And with weather prediction and satellite phones and the technology being what it is today, I think it's a lot easier and safer to do than it was on my previous sailboat. Now, will it be easy? No, it won't be easy. But I definitely think we are definitely ready to go offshore. There's obviously a few things to button up, but all in all, we're ready to go. Woo! So big news, we are going offshore. We're going to give you more details in the upcoming episodes, but it's pretty exciting. We're going to get this boat real salty. You won't need any table salt on this channel.
Please like, subscribe, and comment, you guys, and thank you so much for your support already. It means the world.
Make sure to subscribe. Bye, guys.
Stories that Jay has referred to, I've always tried to understand them, but
Hello? Hey! Anybody home? Anybody home? Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateer.